Hey, welcome to Talking Hawks. We're the biggest fan-based Hawthorn channel on the planet, and it's great to have you here, fellas. Welcome, Chris and Reese. How are you, boys?
Yeah, it's, we've had a few days.
Sorry, I think I lost you, but
back on our face.
My bad.
Yeah, good. A few difficulties there, but mate, you sound flatter than the tire on my Audi, mate. It was probably that bad though this weekend, wasn't it?
I'll tell you what, the tire on your Audi must be very flat. Is the rim touching the ground?
The rim's touching the ground. There's no tires left, mate. Fellas, I think we've just proved that we are the worst team in the competition right now.
Yep, honest opinion. I have to agree. There's no hiding it. Lose to the bottom team who's got major injuries, and yeah, there's no excuses at all.
There's none?
Nah, I don't think so. Nah. Especially having a 32-point lead. How? Everybody's asking the question, how did that happen?
Well, maybe we can unpack that a little as we go throughout the evening. I've got to say that was probably the most deflating thing I've seen as a Hawthorn supporter ever. Maybe not kicking straight in the last 5 minutes of the 2012 grand final. Other than that, that's definitely in the last 5 years, that's the most deflating thing I've seen. So
it's hard to keep the faith when you're putting out performances like that. But look, we just love the club, and they need us right now. So just got to keep behind the boys, and hopefully they can turn it around and do it quickly.
Yeah, I think we can. And look, it looks like we've just lost Reese, so have some technical difficulties there. Hopefully Reese will come back. He is the the young buck that we have on the show. So, but you know what I did, mate? After we lost that game, I put my beanie on.
You watched it to the end, didn't you?
I watched it till the end, then I went out. I went outside, put my beanie on, and I still wore it with pride because I'm still a Hawthorn man. I don't care what happens.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, that's it. And look, if you're joining us tonight, let us know where you're watching from. We're always interested to see where you're viewing from. Remember to tag a Hawthorn mate. Thanks, Scott.
Taking that PISS.
Yes, yeah. Looks like we got Reese back. Hey, Reese, good to have you on the show, mate.
I'm back. Sorry about that, fellas. I'm going to bed as well as the Hawks did at the moment there.
That's all right, mate. Is the Wi-Fi not quite reaching your mum's basement that well?
No, that's all right. That was a me problem, but no, mum's basement's very comfy at the moment. I'd like to call it Reese HQ, but that's cool.
Reese HQ. Is that what you tell the ladies, mate? Anyway, so yeah, good to have you back now. Now, Reese, we were just going through how deflated we were after that match. Mate, tell us how you felt watching that game.
It went from an absolute high, being 26 points up, thinking, oh, the haters, they're not going to like this. And it just, the longer it went on, the darker the nightmare became, I think. And I think once North got in front, they weren't going to let it go.
You just didn't get that feeling, did you? That we were like, oh, something's going to happen and a player or two is going to step up and turn the game around. It just didn't have that feel at all. And I think that's the most disappointing thing, that you just want them to try, and it just looked like they gave up.
Yeah, it looked like no one took it personally, and I think that was the biggest disappointment. Even in the Melbourne and St Kilda losses where we got thrashed on the scoreboard, there were still players out there that went, no, we're not standing for this. But I think 22 players on the weekend stood for what happened, and I think that's why we're a bit down at the moment.
Yeah.
The most disappointing thing for me was a couple, right? One is that it was at our fortress, right, which is down in Tassie. We don't often lose down there. So that's the first thing. The second thing is every single game we played this year, regardless of who we played, we have played our guts out till the end. I just did not get the feeling that we played that way. And when the boys turned up, it's like they just felt like they should have won or something was going through their head. It was always a danger game to me going into that, I just thought this isn't going to be an easy game. We're going to be gettable as far as North Melbourne's concerned, just like we were last season against Adelaide when they were on the bottom near the end of the season, had not won a game, and we helped them get into form and start their run last year. And I just thought we just get complacent like that, the Hawks. And sure enough, that's what happened. So it was bitterly disappointing to see us lose that.
Yeah, we're starting to get a reputation for that. 2018, we did it for Brisbane as well, played them into wonderful form. They're going well at the moment. But, yeah, I think a reputation, perhaps for not being easy beats, but we'll play as good as the opposition is. So if we drop and they go up, they can get us. So, I mean, look, credit to North. Not that we're here to talk about them, of course, but they played well and got their first win. But, very, very unhappy at the moment.
Yeah, like you said, I'll add to that. North are competitive against Geelong for a few quarters and also against Melbourne, who are undefeated. So I don't think they're as bad as everybody thinks. And, look, I still don't think we should have lost it, but here we are talking about it.
Yeah, look, boys, I've got some footage I actually want to show you now. I haven't done this before, so bear with me. But I've got some footage I want to show you and the viewers, which I'd like you to comment on.
Top of the 50, Simpkin out towards Atley. He got a kind bounce. Down to 2 minutes and 40. Another bounce.
That's brilliant. He chased hard in defence, now going the other way.
Sad. I know it was at the end of the game. What was it, fourth quarter with a couple of minutes to go, and everyone was probably tired, but you just can't do it.
There's enough time for us to win that game. He ran 40 or 50 meters right through the guts. There's at least 3 players there within the vicinity did not even attempt to run at him and stop him. There may be more views that I can't see, and they may be further away, but it just did not look like we were willing to run and chase after these guys to stop them. And that was really, really concerning to me. So that image, so K Sayuna, sorry, mate, if I've said your name wrong. He sent that to us on Instagram and asked us to share it tonight. So I thought it was a great video to share. So but that was indicative.
Summed up the whole day.
I mean, it's easy for us sitting on our chairs and being able to say things, but you got to attack the line breaker. If they can get through with 8 handballs and kick a goal, sometimes you just got to put your hand on your head and go, right, you've kicked one, we'll kick the next one. But it's like all the boys went, well, someone will go at him. And if 3 people think someone will and no one does, as they did on that occasion, you get exposed. And I hope those clips are played during the week and the players are made accountable for it, because that's not even close to acceptable.
I'm sure they will. And if they get the kick up the butt like they should from the coaching staff, then hopefully they get fired up for a win this week. I could almost see us pulling an upset this week.
Now, yeah. So that's one thing we do well, fellas, is help the bottom team lift and get their season off the ground. But I'll tell you one other thing that we do exceptionally well, and that is play against Carlton.
Excuse me.
The one thing we do well.
Very good strike rate against Carlton in the last, I don't know how many years. But I just want it to keep going because,
10 of the last 11.
Just fill the boys with some confidence, give the fans a little bit of hope, and
I mean, last time they beat us, they aimed at James Sicily. I don't think they can be able to do that this time, so they're going to have to come up with something else.
Yeah,
but wouldn't it be the most Carlton thing ever? Cripps resigns. Yes, lose to Hawthorn. That makes sense. The future's bright at Icon Park.
What about one of Carlton's players has been rumoured for some contracts, Reece? What have you heard?
Yes, AFL Insider posting that Hawthorn, Essendon and North Melbourne were putting up anywhere between $900 and $1.3 million offers for Harry McKay.
Oof.
Over 5 years. He's got a deal in front of him at Carlton for, the quote is considerably less, rumoured to be $750. Numbers probably aren't that important. If it's considerably less, it's considerably less. Look, I don't blame us for trying. He's leading the Coleman and we need a forward. So I think it would be strange if Harry goes from a bottom six club to another bottom six club. The perception will be a money grab, and I'm a big fan of Harry's. I don't think he'll do that. But, hey, look, mate, if you want to be bottom six and you don't want to be a Carlton, mate, feel free to come to the Hawks any day of the week.
Well, it's all about the future, right, and what the other team's offering. For someone like Harry, you'd be wanting to go to a club that's going to develop and go somewhere. The only concern I got, fellas, is it's our first year of developing. So have we shown any signs that we have this future ahead of us? It's questionable at the moment, given it's our first year of rebuilding. So it'd be hard for someone like Harry to look at the Hawks and go, yeah, I can see these guys going somewhere right now. And in the next 3 years, they're going to be contesting for silverware. So that's the challenge that I'd see. Now, if you looked at someone like Essendon, I don't know if they've got much any better. And Carlton, they're coming to the end of their rebuild, aren't they? Or because they're meant to be up there competing for finals and silverware now. So
it feels like Carlton's been rebuilding since we had black and white TVs. It's been that long.
Good call.
Coming from someone in their 20s, that's a real cultural relevant situation. But out of those teams, if he was going to go, Essendon's probably the one. But we're not here to talk about Harry. Do we have any positives from the seniors? We'll get to Box Hill a bit later, of course. But surely between the three of us, we can come up with one, maybe two.
Let's roll through some of the stats. Wingard with 2 goals, Cozzy with 2, Breust with 2, Cousins with 2, Lewis Shields more, Scrimshaw with 1. Great to see Scrimshaw getting on the scoreboard. Whenever you got your back flankers kicking goals, things are going good. But obviously we've still lost. Wingard, what do you think? I thought he played a pretty good game, guys. He's still slightly inconsistent, but
Wingard's a champion.
On the better side, I think. I think he's slowly becoming a bit more consistent, and he can't win a game by himself. He needs a bit of help.
Yeah, unfortunately, Wingard is brilliant, and I love him, and I love the effort that he's doing. He gives it absolutely everything when he plays now, and I just love it. He's playing like a man possessed. Unfortunately, you're right. He can't win it off his own boot. So, Jager O'Meara could win it off his own boot, I reckon, one day. So, but we're just not there yet.
Yeah,
it was nice to have him back in the team.
Sorry, Chris, go on.
No, it was good to have Jeka back in the team, and it's still just that dynamic. I think we're just losing that midfield battle, and I think I'm not sure if McAvoy's carrying an injury or if he's just down on form, or just the fact that he doesn't have a true second ruckman backing him up in Ceglar, or potentially Ned Reeves is getting close to a debut. So,
Chris, we're not losing in the midfield. We lost. That was humiliating.
But that's make and break. We need to win the midfield battle to get the ball forward and potentially win a game. Yeah. If you're losing that midfield battle, you're basically losing the game.
Yeah. Go on, Brad. Sorry, I've cut across both.
Mate, we're getting humiliated in the middle. How many clearances?
Clearances? Is it McAvoy getting beaten by the opposition ruckman, or is it our midfield group not being defensive enough or not being attacking enough? I don't know.
Mate, we've having a ruckman that wins tap outs has never been Hawthorn's thing or Clarko's thing. So it's always been having midfielders that can read the ruck and pinch it off the other ruck. So our midfielders are the problem, and I think Tom Mitchell is our biggest liability at the moment. I hate to say it because I love Tom, but something's not going right. And, obviously in his personal life, things are going on, and it's shown on the field. He hasn't been
grant him some leave of absence or just a couple of games in the twos? I don't know. What are you referring to there, Brett?
Not going on the twos. That North hadn't won. We had 8 games before this started. North hadn't won the contested ball count once. They beat us by 20.
Yeah, that's pretty staggering.
They hadn't won the clearances. They beat us by 21. 21. That's 5 a quarter.
Yep, not good enough.
That's not good enough. That's none of Wadding numbers. No offense to none of Wadding, of course, but
let's not insult none of Wadding.
That's embarrassing. And contested ball, Mitch Lewis had more contested ball on the weekend than Tom Mitchell did. Let that sink in.
Yeah. Yep, I did. You shot that one through in our little group chat. And what was it? How many contested did Mitch Lewis have?
4.
Yep. But not bad for a forward, is it?
Tom had 3 out of 28. And no one is more sympathetic towards his situation that's going on than I am. But we're fans at the moment who want to see the best out of our group. And if Tommy is struggling, which anyone would be, given the circumstances, he doesn't have to be in the side right now if he needs that time away. There is a little bit of that sort of stubbornness within fans that if you cross the white line, you wear the jumper, that there is a certain level of expectation on you. And he still found the ball 28 times, of course. But as we've discussed, he's not the get the ball on the outside and silky service inside 50. And he's never going to be. We should never ask him to be that. So for him to have less than 1 contested possession a quarter, and he averages, I think, 16 for his 150-odd game career is just mind-blowing.
So just to change it up here, we've got a comment from Dominic. One of my Carlton mates went to the sponsors night last night. He said, Will Day gave him the quote of a lifetime. Said, Mitchell said, don't be the next Kennedy or Hodge. Make the kid aim to be the next you. So, yeah, I think he's got the ability to just create his own legacy and to do that for us. What do you reckon, boys?
That's fantastic. I love that quote.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
That should be a T-shirt. It should. I think that's that's
steal
brilliant.
the quote. Start marketing it.
That's it. I mean, look, don't forget, everyone's going to bash us, and I don't know whether we want to talk about the media experts who think we're going to fold as a club now because, oh my God, we're bad for the first time in a decade and a half. But the notion that the kids aren't that good, we've had 2 first-round picks in the last 2 years. They're both not playing. They're both in. Well, they're both. It's not that they're not playing because they're not good enough.
Yeah, people are quick to forget that, aren't they?
We've almost got a beautiful opportunity to spend the next 13 weeks to figure out who's it and who isn't.
Yeah,
and
I think
on behalf of the three of us, we're going to implore the fans to stick fat, keep going to the games, keep supporting the boys. Look, are we going to get the wins of a 13, 14, 15? Of course not. We're going to treat every win like a nugget of gold. And I think barracking for the kids and barracking for certain players, whether they're your favourite kids or not, could be a way to go. But this isn't the time to jump off. We've got to stick fat. And, you know, someone like me, early 20s, I've seen 4 flags. I've been spoilt more than most fans in this town, as in Melbourne, of course. But our friend at Talking Hawks, Jake Smith, had a quote that said, our fans, especially our younger fans, are like rich kids that have been cut off from mum and dad's money. They don't know what it's like in the real world. And that is absolutely spot on. Couldn't put it better.
Well, I think that's relative to your generation, mate. And I think that's appropriate. But I'd say more my generation, we remember when Clarko came in, right?
Yeah.
What was that, 2004? And then 2005 was a lot like it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
How many games did we win that season, Chris?
Oh, mate, you put me on the spot here. But, yeah, maybe 4
5.
I think it might have been 5. Yeah,
5, right? And we're probably on track to do that this year. It wouldn't surprise me if we got 5 this season, right? And we may finish last or second last or whatever. I still think we'll probably finish above North Melbourne. But it does remind me of that. And it really is our very first year of doing a rebuild. Now, fellas, I don't know whether this had happened, but I would not be surprised if we didn't trade I wouldn't be surprised if we traded Tom Mitchell next season. At the end of this season. I wouldn't be surprised.
Pretty much at this point in time, being where we are on the ladder, I don't think anybody's untouchable, really.
No.
Maybe, you might have a Will Day that you just wouldn't trade, but I don't know anyone else you could really put a finger on that you wouldn't trade.
Well, anyone under 20, anyone under 22, I think you wouldn't trade at the moment, or 23. But certainly our older guys, that definitely would be tradable at the moment. Sicily would not be.
Do you think Tom Mitchell's got currency or not? Who would want him? What team do you think he would fit into?
Collingwood.
They got Taylor Adams coming back, who's a pretty big, important part. Look, I know they don't have the salary cap, and I think this is why our rebuild's going to be fast-tracked because of Carlton. We don't have anyone on that 900 plus, as is the Hawthorn model, and we've got no one on our list contracted past 2023. Whereas you look at a side like Carlton that want to rebuild, that are paying Sard, Williams, they're going to repay Walsh because, of course, they should. If Harry stays, Jacob Wiedering, we've got no long-term commitment that's going to push this salary cap. So we're in a good position. How much currency does Tom Mitchell have? I don't know, but we're 13 weeks out from the season. It's another, I think, 7 or 8 until the draft. I don't think what picks we have is important. It's the kind of kids that we go after. I mean, it's all well. We got James Sicily for a pick in the 50s, I think, from the top of my head. And don't forget, in 2006, we had pick 6 and went with Mitch Thorpe. And I don't want to be disrespectful to Mitch, of course, but sometimes it doesn't matter where your picks are. You've just got to pick the right kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
We trust Hawthorn to do that. We've now got 13 weeks to look after the kids that we've got now. Mitchell's got currency. I don't think it's going to be as much as people think it is. I don't think anyone on our list is.
We're talking about the end of the season. Sorry, Reece. We're talking about the end of the season. But we still have a little opportunity, a little window coming up. Mid-season draft. You're all over that. And we've currently got 1 pick. And you think maybe if we put someone on the long-term injury list, we could have 2 selections. Is that right?
Yeah, so the 2 main candidates for this would be Seamus Mitchell and James Sicily. Now, if we are rebuilding and Sis is, I think he did his knee, I think the year after his knee falls on round 17 this year, because obviously it was pushed back because of COVID. So that would leave us with 6 games left. Do we risk the last 6 games for a 27-year-old?
Probably
I'm not sure. And if Seamus Mitchell's not going to be right for an indefinite amount of time, he's not going anywhere. It's not like we're going to put him on the long-term injury list and then delist the poor kid. We drafted him last year. So there is some merit, I think, with going with a second selection, as long as we take 2 young kids. Excuse me.
We're not trying to fill a hole, are we? We're not trying to fill a hole just to try and top up the list. We want something that would be a long-term prospect.
Mitchell for Ollie Wines. Geez, that'd be nice.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah. Can someone tell Port Adelaide that just close your eyes and just click yes? That'd be good.
Yeah. All right, boys, moving right along. There was some positive news out of the weekend, though. Box Hill.
Very positive.
You'll be able to.
We can skip the scoreline, really. Just go to the end of it. 23 goals, 12, 150 to North Melbourne, 6 goals, 642. So 108-point win there for the boys. So that's good signs that our 2s are a bit stronger than the depth of North Melbourne. And, I mean, a few of our kids are down there being part of those victories and building that winning culture. So under Sammy Mitchell. So, look, it's not all doom and gloom. What do we got? Josh Morris, 5 goals. Looks like Saunders and Jeka kicked 3. Howe, Ceglar and Brooksby all kicked 2. Pepper and Downie also kicked a goal. So there's a lot of our senior list there, part of the scoreboard, which would be nice to convert it to the AFL list.
Yeah, maybe the Box Hill side should have played in the seniors instead. Probably would have had a better outing. Now, fellas, I've got to say the Jeka experiment didn't work. And I've got to tell you, I was bloody disappointed.
I think they should have played him against North because he had an opportunity there with a weak backline to actually have a good game, and they just didn't give him that opportunity. It was disappointing. I think I think he's getting a lot better delivery at Box Hill because he's the key focus, and I think he got ignored a bit in his last couple of games at AFL level. So,
yeah.
Hang on, can we marinate on the sentence of he's getting better delivery at Box Hill?
Sad.
My God.
It's a good point. It's a very good point. All right. Hey, before we move on, fellas, everyone, thanks for watching us wherever you're watching from today. Just want to encourage you, if it's your first time here, we'd love to, we hope we've earned your subscription. If you're not following us on YouTube, we'd love for you to follow us on YouTube. We appreciate you following us on Facebook. We're not leaving Facebook, but we certainly would like to build our YouTube following. And the way that the YouTube algorithm works is that the more followers we have, the more that it gets promoted. So if you could follow us over there, we're not cancelling Facebook, but we're certainly wanting to build our YouTube following. So we'd love to get you to subscribe. Also share it with a mate who loves the Hawks as much as you do. So now, fellas, moving on, the big game, which I'm very bullish about, is the Carlton game. Fellas, tell us your thoughts on this Carlton match coming up. Are you looking forward to it?
I kind of am in a way. Like I said, I'm expecting them to cop it from Clarko and have a really deep, hard look at themselves. And if they can't come out and try their absolute hardest this week, I'll be very surprised. I think we'll really push Carlton if we don't actually get a win.
This feels like a toxic relationship, fellas. It's been bad, and yet I've woken up the next morning thinking it's going to be good again, and there's every chance it's going to be just as bad. This could go either way.
It's got that potential.
I think the first quarter is key. If we're down at quarter time, it's going to be a long slog.
We play better when we're losing, don't we?
Yeah, I know what you're saying there, Reese. We do better when we're down, mate.
Yeah, but we need to respond. I know 26 points up first quarter, we lost to North, that's fine. But if we're asking for this, united Hawthorn front, this response, we're not taking losing to North and we're going to do something about it, and then Carlton drop, 5 or 6 on us at quarter time and we're down by 4, sure, we're going to try and come back again, but no, sorry. For me, no. Don't go down.
See, if we're 5 goals down against Carlton, they're the one team that I know that we can come back against and beat them.
Last year at Perth Stadium.
Exactly. No, I hold no fears for Carlton, none whatsoever. And it's, if anything, I feel like they're jelly between the ears, and if we're coming at them, they'll melt.
Yeah.
Oh, let's hope you're right.
How good would it be? All across Carlton this week. Patrick Cripps is re-signing. He's doing it. 4 years. We're keeping our captain. Let's go out there on Saturday and lose to the boys who lost to North. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Carlton.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
So I reckon, what changes do you think there is potential this week? We had no injuries from the game, but what are you thinking? I've got a sneaking suspicion Ned Reeves might get a call up for his first game.
Does anyone else think of the fact that McAvoy's going up against Pitto, who's 24 and would be perfect in our side right now, and just dying a little inside?
Yeah,
cool.
Is he better off though?
Now,
Probably. A 4-year-old ruckman with AFL experience sounds pretty damn perfect right now.
Sure, but Pitto is better off right now, surely. He's not playing second fiddle to McAvoy, and he's getting full game every week in an AFL club. So look, he's doing all right there. But yes, selfishly, we would prefer to have him in our team. So, look, it should be an interesting contest. I mean, Pitto will want to prove himself against his old mentor, and it should be a good tussle. I think that'll be great. But obviously in the middle is where the damage is going to be done. And can Mitchell rise to the occasion? And I think with O'Meara getting a game in his legs, I'd say that he'll be back to full steam again. And the boys in the midfield, they lost that game for us this week. They'll be smarting. And I think that they'll have a point to prove. Yeah. So, I think that's where it's going to be won and lost. particularly with Cripps. So
I've got a question without notice for you boys.
Sure.
There's only one rule: you can't sit on the fence. So we just want a yes or no answer. All right.
Yep.
James Warple against Freo went and stood next to Andrew Brayshaw and curtained him for 3.5 quarters. Do you do the same with Sam Walsh?
Yes.
Correct answer. Good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Could you do it against Cripps? I don't know about that.
Nah, Cripps has got him for size, I think. Daniel Howe would be the only one that I'd consider just because he's got the height, but, mate, Cripps would use him as bloody throw-in practice.
You don't really go and tag two midfielders in a game, do you? You pick one and stick to the task. Yeah,
no, fellas, all right. Well, let's get your predictions. I'd love to get your predictions if you're watching here. Tell us who you think will win out of the Hawks and Carlton and how much by. And I'd be keen to get your thoughts on that. So, and who also, I want to know who the big contest is during this match, who you're looking forward to seeing in this game. So Brett Lee is the first one to comment. He's saying the Hawks by 27. He's obviously, he looks like a Roos supporter there. I think he's been enjoying us commiserating this game. So thanks, Brett. Appreciate that, mate.
I reckon he's lost a bet there. I'm backing him in. He's a Hawthorn supporter. He lost a bet to his North mate, and he's got to have it. He's got to have it in his profile picture for the week. I'm backing him in.
All right. Barry Jolly saying Hawks by 12 points. Fred Smith saying Carlton easy. All right. Well, a bit more information would be great there, Fred. Mick Mootsis, I hope I said that right. Sorry, I'm sure I butchered your name, mate. No worse than Tim O'Brien in the back line. But he's saying a Hawthorn by 100. I love your
Imagine that happened.
Confidence. Yeah.
David T. Fact. Cripps rips up that 4-year contract. That'd be good.
All right, Cody, you don't want my prediction this week. I have no confidence in our boys bouncing back. Blues by 35. Now, why don't you have confidence in us bouncing back, Cody? Come on, what's happened that's made you not have confidence in us bouncing back? We bounced back.
Brad knows we lost the North, right?
But still, come on, we bounced back. All right.
Yeah,
and if we don't bounce back by Carlton, then, you know. All right, Scott, come on, mate. 42? Seriously?
Yeah. Guys, I know we're flat, but come on.
Yeah, kick a man while he's down. Jeez,
and
Scott.
If there's ever going to be a team that we're going to respond to offensively, it's going to be Carlton. David Teague pretty much admitted they don't have a defensive structure at all.
All right, Dave Cochran, Hawks by 8, Howe to Cripps. All right, I like that. Do you reckon Howe will get in this game?
Oh, probably the way Clarko loves him, so I can see it happening. Yeah, as much as I hate it, like he goes down and plays so good down at Box Hill, and then he comes up and he's just average. But who else? Who else do you put into the team? I don't know.
It's true. Yep, it's true. All right. Well, we've got a few, it's sort of 50-50 there, what everyone's saying. So I'm going to go the Hawks by, I'm going to say 12 points. I think it'll be close. Actually, if it's close, 12 points isn't that close, is it? So let's say 8 points. So a goal and a bit. That's what my prediction for this game. The Hawks will bounce back. And I think that Cripps will be shut down and the midfield's going to lift. That's my prediction.
Got one for us, Reece?
Oh, boy. Yeah. No, I'm backing us in. We'll bounce back.
Jeez, mate, your confidence is lifting my spirits.
Oh, mate, I am, mate, up and about. I am, mate, a human ball of energy. No, I think it's more we bounce back, don't we? No, we do. Yeah. 21 points for mine.
Oof.
We need to respond in a big way. And the reason why I think we should isn't going to be on paper. It's debatable whether we're better than Carlton. Their spine's very good and there's not much else around them. But you learn a lot when you're humiliated, and you learn a lot the next week as well. So if we're going to learn a lot, I think we're going to learn a lot that we can still win. So Hawks by 3.5. I reckon Cozzy kicks a bag, and we should play Brocky to expose their slow back line. Chris?
Yep, I agree. Oh, really, thought process is just like, Carlton should win, but like we should have won last week too. Let's go Hawks by 17, and I reckon Mitch Lewis with another 5-goal haul to get us over the line.
Mitch Lewis with a 5-goal haul. Oof.
Yep.
Big call. All right. I like it. All right, fellas. Well, that's been our show for the weekend. Thank you, viewers. We've really enjoyed your comments tonight and your input. So, look, fellas, I think the thing that'll get our spirits up next week is a win. Also, if we have a win, what tends to happen is the ladies tend to join us back on the show. There seems to be a trend where they only come on if we're winning. So hopefully we get a win and we get one of the women to come back on the show again as well. And maybe Matt will join us as well. So, all right. Well, that's been, not that there's any correlation there. Anyway, moving on.
I thought that's where you were going.
No, I wasn't. Anyway, thanks for joining us, and come on, boys. Let's get it over the Blue Baggers. And thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good evening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and share with your mates, your Hawthorn mates. And have a good one, and go Hawks.
Cheers, guys. Go Hawks.